This is an I Am Listening exclusive podcast.
Yeah, it may not have an impact on you today, but in 5 years' time for your children or your children's children, the impact is much, much bigger, isn't it? And I think sometimes it is about what can we do to break down those blocks of saying, actually, okay, you're not doing it for yourself necessarily, but you're doing it for everybody else.
Hello and welcome to this Tread Lightly podcast from us at the Rainham Eco Hub. My name is Kaylee.
And I'm Liz.
And this podcast is where we delve a little bit deeper into those conversations with local everyday heroes that are doing small and impactful changes. We hope that you get as much out of this as me and Liz do, and that you also laugh just as much too. Hello and welcome to this Tread Lightly podcast with me and Liz. We get to chat this lunchtime with the Howard School, which is a local all-boys school in our town. They've got an eco committee that has been set up and running for the last 3 years by a wonderful teacher called Miss Ashbee, who has just recruited a lovely teacher called Miss Hall to help her with her quest to get in more and more students involved in their environmental group. They have over 15 students that are eco ambassadors that are working in their own time and in school time to not only educate themselves about the environmental crisis, the impact that they have on the ever-changing climate, but also engaging other people within their school community and further afield. So grab a cuppa and have a little listen to the amazing things that they are doing. This podcast is going to be a pretty enjoyable one. We are joined with Miss Ashbee, Miss Hall, Ben and Will.
What a gang. Our studio is full to the brim today. And Bam Bam.
And Bam Bam. So you might hear a little woof woof in the background. Miss Ashbee, how are you?
Hello, good, thank you. How are you?
All right, thank you. I'm so excited to speak to you because for some people listening, they might not know what you're famous for. The Howard School community. Tell us why the Howard. Why are we talking to you today? Why are you famous within Rainham?
So we have recently developed our eco club, if you like, and we've now got quite a nice range of eco ambassadors that are making lots of different changes to our school environment and kind of the broader environment. Started about 2 or 3 years ago, and we had, 2 or 3 kind of ambassadors, or it was more of a club situation. So we started off doing beach cleans and litter picking and things like that. And then I kind of realised the impact that we actually had and realised that this could be a much bigger kind of school-wide, even community-wide programme if we were to run it properly and kind of get our names out there. So we started going into assemblies, trying to kind of get the boys involved, get them excited about what they could do and the potential to what they could do. And then from there, it's grown very quickly. So we have got about 15 eco ambassadors.
That's so
it varies depending on what other commitments and things they've got.
But still,
all in all, we have got quite a big kind of team of our eco ambassadors, and we're going from strength to strength, really, just trying to make our mark, make ourselves known, make ourselves aware.
And you still skipped over why you're famous, though.
I was just about to say, you're so modest. Why are you famous in Rainham? Why do we know about all of your great work?
So we won the Eco Hero Award for the boys and their involvement, and then we won the School Shield Award.
You absolutely did.
Yes, for everything that we've done, which was brilliant, and we were so pleased.
Double award winners, very, very cool.
Yes, absolutely. We were so pleased to receive those, and definitely did not expect it as we're kind of new into this properly. So that was
many congratulations, though.
Thank
really
you very
well
much.
deserved.
Thank you.
And since then, we've been dying to have you on our pod because we just want to hear your story and your journey, because I guess we get to chat to loads of schools, loads of students within Rainham and like further afield, and each have got their own unique story as to like how they've like started doing the stuff that they're doing, and it always starts with just one person. And is that one person you?
That is absolutely. Yes, just because, you hear so many things, don't you? And you see so many environmental stances that people have and what people do and all the good they make. And actually, if you don't make a start, you're never going to get anywhere. And I think even just by doing the beach clean, I saw it was a county-wide beach cleaner. It was around that time, and it was, everyone was doing it. And I thought, actually, do you know what? Why don't we get involved in that?
Yeah,
That's something that
great shout.
It's going outside, the boys will love it, go to the beach, that'd be really good. And then I just kind of ran with it from there. And I think maybe I didn't realise how much people actually cared as well. I think you always have that, don't you? You've got an idea, I think it's a good idea to do it, but do other people agree? Do other people actually care? And the more conversations I had, the more I realised actually people do care.
So you've gathered and grown your own community within your school.
Yes, yeah, and it has really gone from strength to strength. It has, massively developed. And obviously, like I said, we went into assemblies, and Miss Hall has got her own kind of bank of students who are very, very keen and very eager. So we've just kind of pulled everyone together, and we've now got this bigger community than we had before.
I know we're breaking what we said, but Miss Hall, could you talk about the kind of things that you talk about in your assemblies?
Okay, so I'm a geography teacher. That's my background. I've been a geography teacher for over 20 odd years now. Oh my goodness.
I love geography, by the way.
Secrets,
favourite topic.
Better than history. Ooh, that's a different podcast.
Rivalry.
But anyway, it's always been a huge passion of mine. It's about protecting the environment ever since I started learning at university. Protect what you've got. It's not here forever. You can make a difference. Don't stress about the wider global. Look right in front of you.
Really cool.
So when I came to the Howard, which was only last September, and I spoke to Miss Ashbee, and she came in and did an assembly, and I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. Get me on this eco club. And I came straight away and I was like, can I do it with you, please?
So what kind of topics would you talk about in an assembly then? How do you bring it to the boys to understand what?
So, well, actually, I mean, if you wouldn't mind, can I introduce the boys? Because
please do.
They did the assembly.
Did they?
They did.
What, you got the students to lead the assembly?
Absolutely.
Right, hand us over. Who are we talking to?
I love this.
Who wants to go first?
Hello, my name's Will. I've been an eco ambassador since about March last year, and earlier this year, I ran an assembly with Ben to recruit some new Year 7s. We spoke about lots of different topics on what we've done so far and things that we're going to do in the future. We also spoke about the importance of environmental campaigning and things like that as well.
Amazing.
And what it means to our community.
What kind of activities have you done as a group of students?
So far, we've developed light switch stickers to tell people to switch off around the school, because it's been a growing thing that people haven't been doing that recently.
Leaving the lights on.
And I guess that saves your school lots of money if you can just do small changes like that, I guess, which is an absolute bonus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well done.
Also, we made some seed bombs with Alan Stockey earlier last year, which we then threw into the green area around our school.
Love that. You threw them in. I love that. Well done.
Any other initiatives you can think of?
Well, there was a beach clean earlier quite a while back, but I wasn't involved in that.
And
I did see the pictures of that. That did look really fun, actually. Yeah.
So how did you get involved yourself? Have you always been interested in environmentalism, or is there specific things that kind of brought you along to join?
Well, my mum is quite into it, and I've been going to green drinks recently.
Yeah.
And when Miss Ashbee did the assembly, I thought I might as well get on and do it.
It's been really interesting to have you at Green Drinks because for those of you that don't know, Green Drinks is kind of like our local meetup in our local town where people just come together and have a chat about local environmental issues. And we have people from all ages. I think you are probably one of the youngest, and then the eldest is probably 80. And so we have a whole range of people of like learning together and kind of like having older people teach younger people teach older people. It's just such a nice multi-generational thing.
It's really nice,
really nice. That's its own sort of like nice community on its own. So yeah, thanks for coming to that. That's really lovely that you give such good input for that. Thank you.
Can we talk to Ben just for a second? Because I understand you've got a bit of a hero who's been quite inspirational to you to get you involved in environmentalism.
Oh, who's that?
So the person who got me like inspired is like my granddad, because when he was younger, he was all obsessed with like plants, animals. And when I realised that Miss Hall invited me to a group, I was like, yeah, I'll join because I want to be like my granddad, like build gardens. He grew banana trees.
Wow.
He made ponds and I don't know like the plants' names, but
no.
He had chickens and all that. So he put them in his garden and he made it all like nice.
And so who's your inspiration for wanting to get involved in environmental stuff? So when Miss Hall asked you, was you straight away like, yeah, of course, I'll get involved?
Yeah.
That's a bit of me.
Yeah. Miss Hall asked, do you want to help? And I said, yeah, that's okay.
So what have you done to create little mini gardens then? What have you done to do that?
Pass along, Miss Hall.
Yeah.
What's your plans
I
for the
love
garden? Jumping at the bit to tell us about the garden. No, please do.
Hello. Right. So this is what we're going to be doing this year. This is on the plan, the spreadsheet.
Like it.
So far we've managed to find all the areas that we believe could do with a bit of a spruce up. Mm-hmm. Mostly we decided on areas that students have their lunch, something they could look at, something they could enjoy. So the idea is to have a bit of green, a bit of sort of serenity where we can use certain things to encourage students to see what's around them. Don't just have your lunch and run around and play football. Look at your surroundings. You've got stunning trees of all different identifications. You've got biodiversity. You've got insects, but not enough.
Yeah.
You know, we're very lucky. We've got lots of space, but there's not much biodiversity over a very even area.
So do you find, is the green space where you are, is it mainly the playing field? I don't know the Howard site very well. Is it mainly the playing field, or have you got more trees area? I get confused between the two sites that are next to each other. Which bit of trees are yours and which bit isn't?
So we've got the green area, and around that we've got the trees around that.
Yeah, trees around the boundary.
Absolutely. And then we've got various areas that are also green. It's like the year 7s, for example, have like a nice bench area. They can play football, and they've got trees around that. There are places where there are trees and other bushes and pieces that are our land but are not used. But actually, they're fine because they're doing what they need to for the environment.
Yeah.
You know, there's species
You're
taking
celebrating
over.
what's already there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're leaving those. We've got some beautiful cherry trees, so they're staying there. We want to, again, put something there. So maybe bird boxes that the students will be making. I haven't told you about that.
Wow.
And we hope, again, so once we've decided where we're going to put them, we've got a lot of trees coming, so we need to work out what we're going to do with these whips. And then from that, some of these whips that are coming to us, we're not keeping them all. We're going to start giving them out to some of our feeder schools in the trust.
Love that.
Oh, amazing. So you're actually going to be working together.
Absolutely. So we hope to either go to their schools and help them start to grow those trees.
That's genius.
So the planting. So we had a get together last week, didn't we? And the boys were amazing. They worked out all the different identification of the trees, how far each tree needs between planting, like the distance between them. They worked out what the trees will look like when they come out.
Wow.
How long they're going to take to grow. They did an amazing job. They sort of did our job. Thanks. And so we've worked out, actually, we don't need all of this. So we're going to distribute some of them out.
I love that.
So
This is so, can I just stop? This is so progressive. This is such a good, no, like, honestly, like, I don't think, if schools are doing this, I don't think they're like shouting about it enough, because you're taking real life scenarios, and they are then using their skills to be able to try and...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're going
like
to
hands-on
teach the boys
learning.
how to actually plant them. So then they can take that knowledge and show, I don't know, their parents.
Yeah.
Mind you, Ben, you won't need to show yours, but show their parents or show
Yeah.
their friends.
Yeah.
Like, you know, here's a free tree.
It's really nice.
Free. Go plant one.
Yeah.
You know how to do it now. Off you go. It's wonderful. You know, look at all the flooding that's happening. We've got a lot of houses being built. It's taking away our roots, taking away our trees in Rainham.
Are you finding it's good learning opportunities that you can kind of bring geography to the classroom?
Absolutely. Geography's everywhere.
So I love that you got a plan, by the way. I love that you got a spreadsheet even. Like, that's just next level, I think, to be fair. So you've kind of got your plan of kind of where you want to go this year, and you've got the boys involved, and they're kind of like leading the change with that. Are there things that are in your head that if you could set your sights like really, really high, where you would want to be, but you kind of go, oh, there's like hurdles. Have you got like hurdles in the way to get to where you kind of...
Yeah. So, I mean, I've got things that I've got in my head, but obviously I'm sure all of us have our own. So I'll quickly say mine and then But for me, I really want to not only have the boys understanding what they've got around them, understanding species, recognising trees, noticing the fact that we've got an increase in wildlife on our own site and identifying them outside of school.
Brilliant.
And that's when they say to their mates, their parents, oh my God, Mum, look, that's an oak tree. You can tell because of the leaves, or anything, any little thing that you can influence them that they take outside of the school.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. So that's
really nice.
That's what I would like.
Do you want to live more sustainably, but you just don't know where to start?
Did you, like me, sign up for Veganuary and accidentally buy chicken sausages on day 2?
Does the whole eco thing leave you feeling confused and sometimes overwhelmed? If so, this is the podcast for you.
Remember to check us out on our socials on Facebook and Instagram, the Rainham Eco Hub.
Miss Ashbee, what about you? Yeah, what's your kind of plan? What are things that are getting in the way that you'd love to kind of crack through?
I think it's just bringing everyone together, isn't it? Having more of a bigger community. So I think, you know, we've got our ambassadors and we've got, you know, myself and Miss Hall, and we're trying to bring people in, but it's getting everyone else involved, isn't it? So getting more staff involved, getting more students involved, even getting, you know, the parents and the carers involved. So bringing in everybody. We refer to our school community, but actually it could be so much so much more than that, couldn't it? And I do think sometimes there is a block. People sometimes will be like, oh, you know, why would I get involved with that? What benefit is it to me? And I think people are sometimes quite narrow-minded, aren't they? And actually, like, yeah, it may not have an impact on you today, but in 5 years' time for your children or your children's children, like, you know, the impact is much, much bigger, isn't it? And I think sometimes it is about what can we do to break down those blocks of saying, actually, okay, you're not doing it for yourself necessarily, but you're doing it for everybody else.
And what is it that's changing people's minds? How are you growing your community? How have you grown it to now? And what kind of methods have you got for trying to get people to think differently and take environmental issues within your school more seriously?
I think it is just the fact that we've got the boys and we've got the students that are doing it, and I think the more they see of each other, they're like, oh, actually, what are they doing? Oh, that looks good. Or, you know,
gives them the confidence.
That's it. And you know, like, it's not something that you should be like, oh, you know, what are they doing? Like, actually, look how much fun they're having. Look what they're doing. They want to come and join you. Exactly that. You know, they've got their badges. You know, they can be identifiable, and actually, the things they're doing, they're fun things to do. Like, you know, yes, we're doing it for a reason and we're doing it for a cause, but actually it's quite nice. You know, they sat and they designed the light switch stickers together, you know, designing them, colouring them in. Like, they're nice things to do. Making the seed bombs, they were covered in mud everywhere. You can imagine the mess, but actually they're nice things to do, you know, outside of school. Obviously it's in school, you know, time, but it's not, you know, your boring subjects, as I'm sure they might agree. You know, it's something nice to do with your friends. And it's just a different environment, isn't it? Even seeing us in different environments, you know, even coming here today, it's just nice.
Different experiences,
different things
isn't it?
to do.
You've got such a whole rounded view of
absolutely. So I think that's the next step, isn't it? It's breaking down any barriers around creating awareness and just showing everyone, actually, this is a good thing to do and we can all have fun while we do it.
What lesson are you missing to get out of this, Will?
Reading time and some of RE.
What about you, Ben?
The same for Dear, but I'm missing out a little bit of drama for this.
We're honestly really, really grateful that you've been able to come down. And I can tell you that there's not many teachers that would go, yeah, let's go on a trolley and go and do a podcast. Honestly, it's really, really nice to be able to, that you've been able to give time to not even just this, but just in general. Because I imagine that this is on top of your very busy, demanding roles as teachers. And so for people like us that are not in the school setting anymore, I just look on in admiration that you're still doing it and you're putting in such hard work.
Could you give any tips and advice to your colleagues in other schools who might be saying, oh, just can't prioritise this? Because we do hear that a lot, don't we? That people are really interested, and for schools there's two things, money and time. How do you crack that nut?
It is a lot. And I think I'm very lucky, absolutely, because when I first started it was just me, and there were a lot of times where, you know, I had to move it on, or we can't do this with boys because we've got this. So I think very lucky in the fact that now I've got Miss Hall, it's kind of a tag team situation. So if one of us can't do it, the other one can, or, you know, it's nice that when we can both do it together, but it's not always. I think it is, you just have to make time, don't you? And that is the sad reality of it. You just have to allocate a specific amount of time, even if you block it out or, you know, you ask someone to cover you. I think it is about, if it's important enough to you, then you will always make time for it, won't you? And, you know, I can appreciate all the stresses of how the day just goes so quickly and you've always got things to do. But I think when you see that the boys are coming back at the end of the day when they could be going home and they're giving up their time because it's something they're passionate about as well, it gives you more of a drive. Actually, do you know what? Yes, I've got a pile of books to mark, but I can do that after. And I think that's kind of the only advice, and that's not even really real advice, to be fair, because it doesn't make it go away or make it any easier. But I think it just... it gives you something to...
I think reassuring other teachers, though, that it is so rewarding that at the end of it, you're pleased you've done it. Yeah. I think there's so many pulls on teachers' time, isn't there? But if you see at the end of it that you're pleased with what you've done, at least it's not just another job that doesn't have an end point. You do get something good out of it.
Also, the valid point of doing it together. So Liz and I sometimes have conversations with people in other towns who want to set up eco hubs in their towns, and it's just them. And the first thing that we always say to them is, go and find somebody else to do it with you, because it's lonely, right? And there are times where Liz and I pull our hair out, get really stressed out, or are like so tired. But because we've got that other person that I can either go, I just can't do it today, I'm just stacked, somebody else can pick up the slack. But also you can do it together, and then you can kind of like, you get creative. I get creative when I'm with other people. Rather than just being on my own, and you kind of spur each other on. So I think that is really good advice. Kind of don't sit there and be the only teacher in your school doing it. Go and find somebody else that wants to give. It's crazy enough. That's crazy enough, like Miss Hall, to give up an hour of your time to kind of do it. And then you kind of find the joy in it, because actually it's then not a chore, and you can kind of, when you start seeing the difference, a bit like that beach clean. stuff like that as well, doing it outside in your community where you're kind of then impacting the local community where you live and work, I think is really, really powerful.
It was actually quite good as well. So there were a lot of the local residents who, walking their dogs and stuff up and down, and they were stopping to talk to the boys and stopping to speak to us. And actually I think that was nice as well. They, thank you. And they were very appreciative of the fact that we were there and we were doing that. So that was the first thing we properly did. And that was a very positive experience. So I think that's what I think fed me to just be like, right, actually, let's carry on.
It's so good because I've been learning so much this past year around the difference between community engagement and community participation. And you've got it spot on in that you are participating in community stuff and doing action. I think it's gold, in fact, absolutely gold. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Is there anything else that you want to close with that you want to let the people know before we leave? Inspo, on the spot. Look at that.
I would just say, like we said, I think everyone that's looking to maybe get involved in something, absolutely you should, because it's got a much, bigger, broader impact to have as a whole. I think it's all about just looking out for things. We've got a lot of things planned. We want to do a lot of things, and it's just having the support from our stakeholders outside. It's having the parents and the carers and the local community who are actually prepared to be like, do you know what? Let's get involved, or let's support the school and let's support the ambassadors in what they're doing. I think there's a lot of stuff coming. It's just keep an eye out, keep supporting us, and I think we're all working together. We'll have a much bigger impact. I think Miss Hall has got something to say.
Miss Hall is excited. I love your enthusiasm.
Sorry, I just think also this is the first school that I've worked at where the school has been really supportive. Like everything we've said, look, I'm thinking of doing this. First of all, I was like, look, we want to do some gardens. And the head straight away was like, right, come on in and walk around with me. The same day, let's go.
That's really cool.
It's so supportive. And I've not had that in other schools that I've worked in, not naming them. But it was just so nice. And he's like, okay, what can we do next? And he's like, talk to the caretaker. And he was like, yeah, what can I do? You've got trees coming. Right, where are we going to put them?
That's so
straight
good.
away.
That is good.
So supportive. And that is half the battle. So I would say that would be my thing for other schools. So if you get the support from SLT, you're flying because your students will be well up.
And I was just going to say, you do realise that now you may have then teachers from other schools contacting you going, Miss Ashbee, Miss Hall, can I just chat to you and rant, please?
Absolutely. No, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we'll do a little session in school. In fact, let's get that on the spreadsheet.
I think that would be really nice. I think it would be really good to be able to have people see the kind of stuff you're doing. So where can they find you? Where can they look and see the kind of things that the Howard are doing?
So on our Facebook page and our Instagram page, so anything we do, anything at all linked, all gets uploaded or gets put on there. We had our nice little photo of us outside with our awards, which is a nice picture. But no, anything we do, I think on the Instagram page, we've got where we're making the sea bombs, we've got the beach clean, absolutely everything we do is on there. So do head to those and have a look.
Give it some love.
Yes, absolutely, give it some love, yes. And keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, and well done, boys. Thank you so much for coming out of school today, missing your lessons. I'm sure you're devastated.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for having us.
You're so welcome. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Rainham Eco Hub's Tread Lightly podcast. If, like us, you're trying to be more sustainable, then like and subscribe to get notified when we release new episodes, or even better, share with your friends and family. Hope you enjoyed today's episode, and thank you for joining us. Stay safe, keep going, and find us on socials. Cheers, guys.
This has been an I Am Listening exclusive podcast. For more information, head over to our website, im-listening.co.uk.